Yo, good morning, late night to everyone. Welcome to this recording. I'll just cut the chatter and get straight to the point. Me and Lillian broke up out of mutual respect for one another. Not because we didn't want to stay together, but because we knew that staying together was just going to end up hurting one another. My expectations were too much for her to handle alongside my pace, and she couldn't be there to emotionally support me in the ways I was asking for. I still consider her a deep and probably one of my best friends, but as it stands, I don't want to hurt her by trying to stay in a relationship, especially when it would have just been a situationship. Because it may have started that way, but between all the things she's dealing with and all the things I'm dealing with, it couldn't continue that way. I'm proud of her for her efforts and everything she tried. By all means, it was a combination of both people's issues that ended up cutting it short. I'm only 27! Where am I gonna go from here? But no, I ended up finding this post exactly because I looked up respectful or reasonable situationship. If they're not showing you the same amount of interest, then move on. I'm not about to string her along just because we managed to make something that works as a friends with benefits thing. And I'm not going to pretend that either of our efforts were enough to keep it going. You're just in two very different emotional places. And I'm gonna be real, this has brought a old fantasy to the forefront of my mind exactly because it's proved to me that that fantasy is dead. That fantasy of living someplace with multiple people they love and care about all together in a house, just nah. If it's fun to friends and roommates with where it's friends with benefits, oh, I can believe it all of the more. But I'm not deep colleague material, even though I kind of want to be. Did you just sum up this entire sub? Yep. I like this one. It's what got me to click on the link. I hate the term situationship. It's a relationship. If you're sleeping with someone, hanging out with them, or going on dates on a semi-regular basis, it's a relationship. A poorly defined one, yes, and also not a serious one, at least to one of the people involved. But it's a relationship all the same. With relationships, there's always the risk of feelings getting involved. My problem with the term is that the person who doesn't want commitment tends to point out that it's not a relationship, that they don't owe anything to the other person. And then the other person feels like they can't advocate for what they want or need, or feel like their feelings aren't justified because it's not a relationship. Both people end up deluding themselves by denying that they do indeed have a relationship, and usually someone gets hurt. See it all the time in therapy practice with clients who are dating. That's not to say two people cannot clearly enter into a relationship that they agree is not long term. I see no issue with this, if intentions and expectations are clearly communicated both at the beginning and throughout. But this rarely happens in so-called situationships, which is code for stringing someone along and feeling entitled to treat them poorly because it's not a real relationship. And honestly, there was a real friendship and relationship in there. But I couldn't keep up in trying to invest more time and energy when I'm seeing my own flaws and issues more and more. The people I care about deserve better than what I can give, 9 times out of 10. So it's better for me to let them go instead of trying to hold on to them. After all, isn't that a better way to respect them? I'll check out all the replies and whatnot later, but no, the key between a situationship dying and a situationship growing into a real relationship is ultimately communication, it looks like. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I have a type that sucks at communication. That's not even to mention how I suck at communication in different ways, too. Oh, that's neat to see. Cat's got a nosebleed. I don't think so. I'm in what I call a casual relationship and have zero expectations of it going anywhere serious. Not because I don't like them as a person. In fact, I'm crushing on them pretty hard and really like them. I'm just not practically or emotionally in a place where I think can think about a serious relationship. I think a situationship is like an insecure casual relationship, defined by the fact that communication isn't happening and people aren't being honest with their wants and needs. Whereas we're in a casual relationship and we both know it's unlikely to develop into anything serious because there are practical obstacles getting in the way of that. Thank you for your insight, for your reply. I've seen some of your comments around and find this to be an interesting insight, especially because it's based on experience. And I'm just fucking reading this with the voices I want to read it with because I don't fucking know these people. You can have relationships with same key ingredients as something serious, but remain purely casual. I imagine that's almost the ideal state of a situationship where it's balanced, rather than one party not having their real needs met and falling into limbo. Have you heard of courting? What people used to do back in ye olden days. Fucking yeesh. Lillian said that she felt like she was banging her head against a brick wall. And it's not because I was driving her to do it, but because she didn't know what else to do. And I didn't feel like I could communicate with her in a way where we could work on better tools. She also felt like she had been building a very rickety and unstable bridge. She had no idea when she was supposed to go back and fill in the foundations or anything. And that's not healthy for her. That's her being under a lot of emotional and mental pressure to grow as a person when she has no idea what the fuck she's doing. That's another reason why I called it off. Because that's just cruel and unfair, isn't it? To expect something of someone that they don't know how to do, to not be able to communicate and meet each other where you're at. No, I'm not putting someone I care about through that. Fuck off. Fuck off. The other person doesn't, they usually know from the start. Also, I don't really like to travel or anything. Lillian has great wanderlust, and I wouldn't be able to support that. She's a wonderful girl, even if she's just as awkward as me sometimes. Hell, more brutally honest than me sometimes. Fucking, that's how this ended up happening. And I appreciated that. I'll miss that big fight girl. Even if we do end up being friends again in the long term, at some point. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Yeah, that's an interesting post. Held on to a situationship for 2 years because it was comfortable. Allowed me the benefits of mischief and the relationship aspects without the commitment. They were doing the same. We slept together regularly, sometimes, at least on my end, seeking mischief elsewhere. I would occasionally date someone, but not seriously. They had some person that they would chase and failed with a few times. I told them I wanted a relationship a few times, but they never stepped up and I never held it against them. Honestly, I don't regret it. Our situationship helped me develop the communication skills that I'm now using in my current relationship. It also gave me a comfort and safety net to date around a little without feeling totally alone in the world. We checked in with each other regularly to make sure we were on the same page, not actively hurting one another or holding each other back. We're still friends, ride street and dirt together. When we get the chance, send stupid memes over messages and whatnot. I don't know, take it for what it's worth, but that was my experience. It's exactly what it was, and I'm grateful I got to experience it. Glad there are people out there having that kind of experience. Oh. Yeah, no, when you think you've met the one and they think they've met a beautiful one night stand, it is. Oh. Oh, let's not get into your thread of things, my friend. There we go. It's not worth investing something, time and effort into something, regardless of which side you're coming from, if it's never going to go anywhere. Yeah. One that shouldn't have happened. I would very much agree with Leo the Nun here. Yeah. Honestly, that's a distinct line that I wouldn't have thought about, but that is a good way to have healthy and clear boundaries while also still getting up to mischief as you want to. I can respect it. People are not honest and direct when they hope to fall in love. No, they are not. At least not if they don't think it's gonna work. Not if they can already see the issues ahead of time and don't know whether or not they can actually trust the other person. Ooh, there's a nice job. What's your definition of success? If you learned and loved with one another, then I'd say it's successful regardless of how long it lasts. Time doesn't mean something is successful. There's tons of miserable people together for decades. Love this perspective. Thank you. Absolutely agree, and I feel like it's often overlooked. Time doesn't mean quality. You can grow because of someone you barely know as much as you can stagnate with a decades-long relationship. These things are not static. They exist relative to one another, and by damn, that makes for some interesting social chemistry. Not on psychological chemistry, dear hell. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, a situationship just belongs a take it or leave it attitude that doesn't deepen into a close relationship. Oof. Oh, jeez. Jeez. We might be in the same situation. Shit. LOL. Fucking damn. See that as a comment. Oh, Misery loves company, but holy shit, I'm pretty sure Misery was not expecting company at that point. Ay. Yeah. We're all messes on this planet. Some of us are further along in their personal growth journeys. Others are just fucking starting because they ran into someone that finally tripped up their shallow coping mechanisms, and oh joy, they don't know what to do now. Then there's some of us who just aren't going to have relationships, and that's respectable too. Not in the sense of not having friends, but more so just not experiencing romantic or sexual attraction. And honestly, I think those people are express ticket to enjoying and valuing your own life. Please and thank you. I didn't get one, and a lot of us out, and everyone else probably didn't get one either. But hey, at least some of us are living their best lives out there. You gotta respect it instead of being jealous of it, because when you be jealous of it, ooh, you end up toxic. And that's not something to be ashamed of. It's just a choice to make, even in the midst of your feelings. You can acknowledge your own feelings and sit with them, but also choosing to not indulge in those feelings and let them decide things for you. Then comes the internal compromises, but they slowly eat away at you. And when you reach your breaking point, you just gotta go. Yeah, no. Time. Hmm. Okay, I want to redefine that, because in a sense, my ability to acknowledge my own flaws and work through my bullshit is 5 years ahead of my peers because I've had so much time to fucking just focus on it instead of thinking, whoop-de-doo, I'll have a job in a few years. No, I gave up on the world long before everyone else did. On the downside, that also means my executive functioning and ability to contribute to society are lower than my peers, 5 years behind. It's not fun. It just isn't. I figured would be worth it to work through my own issues first instead of trying to plan a life in a world where my best wasn't good enough. No one else knew how to help me. Maybe if Lillian ever gets back to me, I'll have a best friend that I can joke with and get up to mischief with, but otherwise, that relationship is dead. Until one of us either grows to where we can meet the other again, that relationship is just dead. It absolutely fucking hurts to admit that, to acknowledge it. I wish I could throw my fucking this reality off a cliff and buy a new one, but no, that's not how life works. After all, to run away from the truth is to just give power to fear. I don't want to give fear and paranoia that power. I don't want concepts that have outlasted generations of human history to have that kind of hold on where my life goes. I want to fight the generational trauma cycle, and if this is the way to do it, then by damn it, I'll bite my pain and eat it whole. Now that said, I am in a situation where, hey, I can manage this! If I was anywhere near any of the situations that other people are in, I would be just as fucked up. Life is hard. Do not compare yourself to me. I am an idiot. A highly intelligent idiot that has no idea how to fix things, even though she really wants to. Because you can't fix things. You can only wait for people to grow. And you don't decide when people grow. Hell, sometimes even people don't decide when people grow. It's fucking social chemistry at its finest. Psychological, emotional. We could go down that tangent for years. Ugh. But we don't have that time available. I don't have the time to wait. Yeah, being willing to fix what went wrong is ultimately the make or break of a relationship. Rupture and repair. If there's a rupture and you never repair it, then it doesn't matter how much either of you wants the relationship, it's not gonna work. If I hear the word situationship one more time, aww, I'm glad to see that there are avoidant attachment styles healing together out there. That's beautiful. 2 years ago, and the account is deleted. Huh. I hope things are going well. And if they're not, or if things this changed and you're somewhere else in your life, I hope you're learning along the way and adapting as you need to heal and grow, not to fix and repair people. Because logical brained people often want to just fix and repair when no. Rupture and repair isn't about actually fucking repairing other people. I know that's what some of you would love to believe, but that's not the case. Rupture and repair is about admitting and acknowledging your own faults while making space and room to talk with one another. And I still kind of suck at doing that in some ways. So does, and so did Lillian. Good question. The rest of us are still trying to figure that out. The major hallmark seems to be a lack of healthy communication and boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. Situations are great. Situationships or casual relationships are great if both people are on the same page. But thinking a situationship is going to turn into something more because you want it to is only going to ever hurt both of you. Uh, fucking, why am I continuing to record and read this when I could have easily just stopped it early and made it a short declaration post? Because I'm looking at all of this and going, hey, I'm not alone here. Neither is anyone else. So we were cowards, so we were liars, so we're not heroes, we're still survivors. The dreamers, the fighters, no lying, I'm tired. But jump in the fire, I'll be right there by your side. We broke into a million pieces, and we can't go back. And now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, in a way, I kind of let Lillian Sweet talk me out of ending the relationship for a while. Okay, she wasn't ready for it, and I knew I could endure it a bit longer. I'm glad when it came to the moment, though, she was honest with me. I'm really proud of that damn girl. I'm really proud of her. That Midnight Girl, that Mayhem Girl, who stuck around me for 3 fucking years. I'm proud of how she's grown. Although though it's ended for now, I'm glad about the time I ended up spending with her. So this is part of who I am. Fucking damn it! I knew this already, but I was trying not to accept it. I want to do a fucking dumbass idea of, oh hey, someone I'm interested in who looks like they need support. Well, let's see if it works, and if it doesn't, let go. That's the best thing you can do for someone if you care about them. and it isn't working out is to acknowledge it, be honest with them, and communicate where you're at. I'm only a temporary keeper. I often outgrow and outpace my partners long before they have the chance to outgrow and outpace me. Sometimes, though, like in Lillian's case, they keep up just enough to really, really teach me a few things and make me fall in love with the reality of them. Even if that reality isn't compatible in the long term. Oh, no. If there's one thing I want to make sure of, it's that I'm not lying to someone's face about how much of a fucked up and messy person I am. That's just my own personal standard. That way I can at least better respect the choices that people make. Both in getting into this bad idea and in choosing to leave it behind. It's the least I can do for being a greedy bitch. Being honest. So yeah, I'll try my damnedest to steal your heart. But if you can't manage to steal mine, and we can't manage to communicate, then I'm sorry, hon, but you're better off trying somewhere else and learning to grow into yourself rather than staying with me and letting me humor you. You deserve better. Until I learn my fucking lesson, I deserve to sit with this fucking pain. So let's see how long that takes, shall we? At least I accept this fucking fool I call me. If I end up being someone's excuse, at least I'll know it's with my consent and not just without me knowing. Oh, hell no, I'm not saying that. That's just going to attract the wrong kind of crowd. No, thank you. Just because I'm a greedy bitch doesn't mean I don't have standards. Come on now. I want to at least try and be respectful and reasonable. It's the least I can do. Right? In a world full of people who aren't going to be honest with you, who will try everything to desperately claw you into their net. I can at least try to be honest as a sign of respect. How much of a fucking mess am I? Oh, yeah, no, this is definitely my crash out. My self acceptance crash out. Because I suck at holding true to my intentions, even if I really want to. Until that changes, I don't think it would be fair of me to tell anyone that they can expect anything more than some mischief from me. Thanks for the pain, thanks for the reality awakening, the reality check. I'll still be crying and healing for a long time. I'm at least acknowledging who I am. So you can fuck off with your bullshit. Because I know I'm not worth a full relationship. I am worth healthy communication and being able to call things as they are, see them for what they are, and to be respected by acknowledging it. Uh, yeah. Oh, jeez. I know they did you wrong, but you did not have to uh, dump their trauma out in the open like that, girl. Damn. Three strikes and they're out. This is ghosting for 2-3 days without a reasonable excuse. Eh, at least you're on the anxious side of things and not the avoidant. That means that you're at least acknowledging that, hey, I want relationships, but I don't fucking trust them. Better that than you grow into it slowly and surely with someone who genuinely can match you where you're at, rather than pretending otherwise. I'm a messed up bitch who learned to be a temptress, and yet still wants to hold on to some facet of morality. Call me a fool if you want, but I'm gonna be true to myself. Don't sacrifice your happiness for others. Not even if you love someone. If they love you, they won't accept you sacrificing your happiness for them. And if you both love each other enough to draw that line, then maybe, just maybe, there's room to work it out. If you can't work it out though, that's fair. Oh, that's a good question, because some people date on the span of years, and other people date on the span of weeks. And there could be two people who are technically good matches for each other, but realistically, their scales of time and ability to wait are too way too distinctly different to make it compatible without clear and reliable communication. A person who is so bad at emotions finally showing emotions and doing everything to make me happy and show that they loved me. It was a good dopamine rush for sure, but more of the story, yes, they can work, but it takes two people to realize sooner rather than it being too late. Because I think once you hit past the year mark, chances are way lower. It gives you a better opportunity to reflect on your own, but it also gives them the space to see how much they valued you, regardless of if they were aware of that in the moment or not. If it's enough to come crawling back, but not enough to commit to change, then I'm sorry, mate. You may both like each other, but you're going to hurt each other if you keep trying without growing, without sitting with yourselves. So technically, a situationship can be thought of as a more modern take on the idea of courting people. Maybe a potentially more toxic take, but hey, people are young, dumb, and naive. Of course, they're not going to be patient enough to follow such formal rules. I can see why it died out. Yeah, no, it's like 50-50, and if you're not able to accept reality, then that 50-50 turns into a horrible spiral of 25-75. Fucking yeesh. Yeah, who am I kidding? 20-80. 20% chance it actually works out, 80% chance, oh, both people are gonna get hurt. And no, I'm not making fun of it or treating it lightly. I'm using attitude and expression as a way to ease off the bite of it. That doesn't mean you get to run away from reality. Just means I'm not gonna push reality onto you. Yeah, I don't think you're meant to date everyone that you have chemistry with. Some of them just becomes your besties that you can fucking get up to mischief or rely as a wingman, wing girl, wingmate. Fucking wingmate. Nice, gender neutral. And of course, there's an AI with that name. Disappointing. No, you are not giving me presents. No, I am not accepting cash outside of like what, at most $1 a month. And no, you're not going to be able to change my mind if you really keep looking away from reality and deflecting. So please, save yourself the energy and time. Don't pine for me. You deserve better. And if you're fine with not getting better for a bit, then I'm gonna be real. This is your dumb decision, not mine. I'll humor you for a bit, but ultimately, unless you can actually manage to make a clean fit without, getting into toxic obsession territory. Trust me, I've been on the toxic obsession side of things, at least on the one-sided. For as much as it is an emotional roller coaster and a half, it doesn't do anything good to your self-worth. It doesn't make you into someone that you're proud to be. It hollows you out and tries to fill you in with someone you're not. You deserve more than excavating your own self just to create space for someone else. Because that just means that every time they're gone, you're left sitting with the scattered remains of who you once were, and the yawning void of hunger in the pit of your chest that reminds you that you're no longer that person. And if you want to get back to being yourself, you've got to sit. You'll have a difficult time sitting with your pain, but you'll be able to. Also, to the dense dork who didn't believe me because I failed to respect social tradition and stick to the status quo. Fuck off! I hope your life is going well. I hope everything is going well. I hope you find someone who's better than me. But at the same time, just because I failed this social skill check after getting worn out for so fucking long doesn't mean I was lying. Just means I was really, really fucking tired. And that was not your responsibility, which you made very clear. Thank you for that. Both in spite and in honesty. Thank you for that. Sure, getting into relationships and ending up with friends time and time and time again certainly doesn't fit the ideal status quo. But it's better than fucking crashing out and running away from the reality of yourself. I'm gonna be real, I'd rather have friends that can call me on my bullshit than run around jumping from one person to the next. That's not a judgment of others, that's just my personal choice. Because I can't imagine going through that. And I'm amazed that some people survive it. I really am amazed that some people survive it. Not something I look up to, but not something I'm gonna dismiss either. Oh, been there, done that. It's not fun, especially if you're aware. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's the personal line you've gotta draw if you're gonna keep your sanity. Only do things that you know you won't regret later, in the absence of a particular outcome. If I'm fine with it, great. If I'm fine without it, even better. Yeah, no, I've been hesitating on my own life because I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, I would defy all odds and find someone who could prove to me that, hey, the worth you put into others is just as much as the worth I can put into you too. A reciprocal healing. I didn't hit that 9 in a million chance, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm 27. I've got no job, no income, the world is collapsing around me, and I'm just a fucking fool, wishing that she was just a little bit stronger, faster, smarter. But I still love that fool I call me. Because she's flawed. Because that's at least sincere. Ooh. How long am I going to be crying for? Enough tears to create Niagara Falls over the course of the next 7 years? Damn, that sounds unreasonable. Thankfully, it'll flow back into the weather cycle, and I'll have my own tears raining down upon me after it's gone through several other things. That's the bullshit of this world. It's beautifully twisted and willing to throw your ego into the gutter just to remind you that, hey, you're safe, but you ain't on top, bitch. Ah. Realistically speaking, relationships that begin in a more traditional way are also full of uncertainty. The difference is that the uncertainty is hidden beneath indications, declarations of commitment that help people forget about the inherent uncertainty of life. Making these things official 3 weeks into it doesn't mean you know each other any better than the people who prefer to take things slow. It doesn't mean you're better matched than people who don't want to label things. You may equally well find out later down the line that despite both people wanting it to work, it didn't. So, of course, for many, commitment helps maintain a positive idea of the other person even when there are problems, which facilitates going through those problems, increases the chance of a long term thing. However, I'm actually quite fond of what I'm doing right now. Facing challenges real without the security of commitment and still getting through them together feels wonderful and very real in a way that I haven't experienced before. Why neither of us feels compelled to put on a show for the other or let go of a dream or goal that doesn't fit with the other person's plans or agree to stuff that we don't like just to appease someone else. Still, we have gotten closer over time in a natural way. They aren't as broody, removed, and cynical as they were when I met them, and I've learned to approach life in a softer, more fluid way. I don't know how to decipher that. Wow, I've forgotten the shorthand for shorthands. That's not an acronym because then there would be dots between the letters. I know this. I know this, brain. Where is the word brain? I'm gonna give you pressure, not because it actually helps, but because it makes it funnier. Social media, communication. Shorthand, not acronyms. LOL, laugh out loud. Raffle, rolling on the floor laughing. TLDR, oolong, didn't read. Fucking yeesh. I can't believe that some of the oldest video chat friends I know are still here, actually. Like, sure, they may have split off in their own separate directions, but I think I can say the spiral and chain of events that led to me meeting everyone I've known. And I like that. It's not acronym brain. I've told you this before. Acronyms would have dots in the middle. And they would also spell another word. Or at least close to being another word. YMMV does not. Alright, now I'm gonna look it up just because you're fucking telling me it's gotta be acronym. Abbreviation. Social. Whatever, brain. So yeah, that was grand timing to wait for a better time to chat. There's no way for me to fully express myself if I pretend to be a badass motherfucker. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Good thread. I'm not about to go down every tangent, but hey, I'm glad it got archived. My name is Flicker. This has been both a status update and me scrolling the internet. I'll see you all later. Bye! Don't you want to live a little longer?